I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns going into this offseason now. I'm going to have to take some time away for sure, and really tough to get to this point. Really, really tough. That makes the finality of it all kind of hit you like a ton of bricks.
There has been no shortage of Aaron Rodgers drama, but once again, this man is literally coming out and saying that he might retire after this year. No, I am not kidding. He literally just said that. It's in an NFL.com article. I feel like this man just gets some sort of sick pleasure from taking us all on a ride and making us lose our collective minds over what one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the NFL and the defending MVP might do following this season. Before we get to the content, we're giving away $500 to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. We're on that grind to 500k subs on this channel, and in addition to that, we're on the grind to 50k followers on Instagram. We're giving away $500 to a follower on my Instagram at @theflightmike. Check out mikerophone.org if you want to purchase some merch. And now that we got all of that out of the way, break. For those of you guys that are a little bit wary of my reporting on Aaron Rodgers, because bear in mind, about a year ago, I did come out and make a video of him coming out and trying to force a trade to the San Francisco 49ers on draft day. Remember, on the day of the NFL draft, Adam Schefter came out and broke news that Aaron Rodgers was unhappy with the Green Bay Packers, and my personal belief was him trying to force a trade to the San Francisco 49ers for the number 3 overall pick. Ultimately, the 49ers called the Green Bay Packers about that. The Green Bay Packers hung up the phone and said it's not going to happen. But then there was this whole fiasco over Aaron Rodgers threatening to retire from the game of football if Brian Gutekunst didn't step down, or if Brian Gutekunst wasn't fired. And eventually this all led up to a training camp where Aaron Rodgers thankfully came out and explained himself and said everything was true, all the way down to the fact that he was upset over the fact that Brian Gutekunst cut Jake Kumaro, which was his favorite practice squad wide receiver. So I just wanted to preface this entire commentary by saying Aaron Rodgers is a world-class pot stirrer that is tremendous at manipulating the media. All I could do is give you what he says and tell you what the plausibility of what he says is, and that's the best that I could do. He can come back and pretty much change his mind just to screw with us, and he's done it in the past. Now that I got that disclaimer out of the way, let's discuss where the Green Bay Packers stand right now. If you remember this past offseason, after this fiasco between the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, where pretty much Aaron Rodgers wanted to have his voice heard a little bit more. We talked about this, how the theme of this year's NFL season is players wanting to be more involved in personnel decisions. We talked about Deshaun Watson also wanted to be involved in the general manager and head coaching search. When the Texans didn't involve him in said general manager and head coaching search, then Deshaun Watson demanded a trade. Of course, we discussed Russell Wilson going on the Dan Patrick show and saying it's important for quarterbacks to be involved in that conversation.
Be involved because at the end of the day, it's your legacy. It's your team's legacy. Those guys, you got to trust. I think for me, anytime you bring free agents in, other players, you want the best players, guys who love the game, guys who want to be a part of that. And as a player, you kind of know that. You get to be around Pro Bowls. You get to kind of see these guys. You get to be in the huddle. You kind of build that over time and get to see who can really play. As a player, you really know. So I think that relationship's really key. Especially being a veteran player, that dialogue is really important.
And Aaron Rodgers is no different in that regard. The whole reason that this is all happening is because Tom Brady, in his 40s, literally went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and was able to construct his team from his vision, get Rob Gronkowski to come over, get Antonio Brown to come over despite Bruce Arians not wanting him there, getting Leonard Fournette to join the team, changing Bruce Arians' entire offensive scheme. There was no pre-snap motion before. Well, I'm Tom Brady and I want pre-snap motion, and then eventually winning a Super Bowl. This is starting a player empowerment movement, at least amongst the top quarterbacks in the entire NFL. And ultimately, the Packers ended up caving in last July when they agreed on a brand new contract for Aaron Rodgers. Now, the new contract includes the same total compensation he would have received each year under his old deal, but will void on the 7th day prior to the 2023 league year. The franchise tag window closes one day before that, meaning Aaron Rodgers is untaggable after 2022. If he plays out the next 2 years, including this year, so the year after that, he'd become a true free agent. Through it all, we hear Aaron Rodgers go go on the Pat McAfee show and consistently mention the fact that he is just enjoying the moment, enjoying it each and every day, taking it a day at a time. The Green Bay Packers are absolute contenders right now, but you also have to bear in mind that they drafted Aaron Rodgers' successor in the NFL draft, much like what Bill Belichick did with Tom Brady, drafting Jimmy Garoppolo in 2014 in the second round of the NFL draft. But in this instance, Aaron Rodgers' successor was literally drafted in the first round. That puts a little bit more pressure on that pick working out for the Green Bay Packers, so you have to bear in mind that it's almost Jordan Love time for the Green Bay Packers.
I will do what I must.
So Aaron Rodgers could leave as a free agent following this next season, but on top of that, Aaron Rodgers has already been rumored to try to recruit players to a brand new team. There was obviously memes of Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers saying that this is the last dance for the Green Bay Packers. The point being that Aaron Rodgers has had a lot of fun doing this in the past. Now that brings us all the way to what he said most recently. Aaron Rodgers once again is having a remarkable season. To give you an idea of how remarkable, this year he's thrown for 3,689 yards, 33 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, and has completed 68% of his completions, which is kind of bizarre and is near the caliber that he was in last year with his MVP season. Ultimately, Aaron Rodgers was asked whether or not he's decided against retiring after 2021, and he said that I wouldn't rule that out. I think I'm just enjoying this season for this season. I think that playing next year will definitely be in the thought process. One of the things, wanting to not be a bum on the way out and still be able to play, I think is important to me. It seems like, at least to me, and I think this is just, there's no way, it would just blow my mind because he's still playing at such a remarkable level that it seems like he is still contemplating retirement. As a football fan, I can't see it. I think he's just doing it to stir up the pot a little bit because, again, world-class pot stirrer. I think what he really wants to do is to leave Green Bay, try his hand at forming his own super team like he saw Tom Brady do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and maybe win himself 1, maybe even 2 Super Bowls. Even 1 Super Bowl at this point would be remarkable. Aaron Rodgers, once again, is the favorite to win the MVP this year, and he said this: if this year has taught me anything, it's that I could still play, I still have love for the game, I'm still super competitive, and I still enjoy the process of the week. I miss practice and it's tough to not be out there week after week now, but I still do love competing and I love being out there. There's a lot of things that I will weigh in the off season. Saying that doesn't mean, or any of the comments I've made doesn't mean I'm thinking about elsewhere. I do want to clarify that the things that I've said about the team this year, about general manager Brian Gutekunst and I's relationship, has been heartfelt and genuine, and I do appreciate a lot of the things I've seen from the team that are directly related to the conversations we have had in the off season, and that was meaningful to me. Now, here's the good news. It seems like Aaron Rodgers' concerns were addressed, because the next part that he says here is very, very important for any chance for the Green Bay Packers to retain him. I've enjoyed being a part of conversations that directly affect my job, which I talked about in the offseason, and Brian has taken a lead in that, and I do appreciate the way our relationship has grown. Such conversations included instructing the Packers to acquire Randall Cobb via a trade, and he closed out by saying, I'm just savoring this year as much as anything. It won't be something where I drag it out months and months. I'll have conversations with my loved ones after the season, with Brian and Mark and Russ and the coaching staff, and then make a decision at some point. I'm not going to hold the team back from anything, and then once I commit, if it's committing to move forward here, then it'll be a quick decision. So once again, it seems like we are headed for another remarkable Aaron Rodgers offseason where he might take us for a bit of a ride. But if you want my personal prediction, I think Aaron Rodgers would probably stay with the Green Bay Packers, especially if they make a deep run back to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl, especially considering the fact that the Green Bay Packers have been receptive to what made him angry this past offseason to begin with. The only question that remains is, what the hell do the Packers do with Jordan Love? At this point, you have no choice but to potentially trade him if you're going to keep him on your bench for possibly his entire rookie contract. Let me know in the comments section down below, what do you guys think? Do you think Aaron Rodgers would dare retire after literally being at the top of his game over the past 2 years, which is saying something considering how good he is? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.